Right, I got it from Kendall, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Swapped it out. I was like, you know what?
So we're going to use glue and water, and we're going to make a thin paste, and then we're going to dip the tissue paper in there and wrap it around the balloon. And then when it dries, it's going to make an exoskeleton, like the cicada exoskeleton. Not touching that one, that one's alive. It's out of the exoskeleton. You can touch it if you want. They don't bite or anything, but. So what we're going to do, so they lay eggs like little right into the nymphs, and then they. We're gonna dip. Hold on, baby, hold on. We're gonna dip. Well, should we do paintbrush for each of them? Dip the paintbrush and then. Okay, whatever. That's probably less messy that way too. Your tissue onto the balloon, okay?
It is a service berry. This is actually very surprising find. We were just up in Tucker County all yesterday, scouting service berries, which I suppose this guy must be too young or too shaded to fruit, but this is in the genus Melanchier. 5 needles, and I just find them to be one of the most delicious in the area. I think they're really great. They don't have some pines like pitch pine and Table Mountain pine that you get up on the tops of mountains taste very tarish. These guys are almost citrusy, really, really good. To chew and then spit back out. I like it. Just one boil, just boiling them, and they're a really, really great vegetable. The other thing that I like to eat on milkweed is when they're starting to flower, and this one's probably too young. It's probably not going to flower this year. But they'll get little sprouts of flowers, look almost like broccoli. And they usually make way more than they actually end up using throughout the year. And you can take those and boil them just like broccoli, and they're pretty good. The reason that milkweed gets a bad rap, and why it's a little sketchy for unexperienced folks, especially with this family of Possinaceae, is its cousin dogbane, which is a Possum canabinum around here. Yeah, we will. Is probably the same level of toxicity as milkweed before it's cooked, but it tastes terrible. It's extremely bitter. It's really, really gross. They have these little bulbils.
Yeah.
Highly recommend a pick and an eat. They're really good.
Of a small, so it's like, you know, it's the mint family, so you have the square stem, but it doesn't have the same time you're using it topically. I think that's a thing, but yeah.
For some reason they consider all plantains exotic invasives, but this is actually Plantago virginiana, which you'll notice though that it's already done, whereas the regular plantain hasn't gone to seed yet. And it's out of here, which I got exactly 0. That's fine. But it's very fuzzy. It looks just like regular plantain, same leaf shape and everything, but just very, very fuzzy. And it only comes up in the spring. It's almost a pseudo spring ephemeral, which is really interesting for members of its family. And this is exactly where a botanists don't believe exists, because they treat all St. John's worts like Hypericum perforatum, and generally this gets sprayed on the sides of the road and stuff. But this is our native Hypericum punctatum. I'll pass around a leaf. The way to identify St. John's worts is either by flower, which obviously we're not going to do, or by leaf. Hypericum perforatum has holes that are clear in the middle, and then Hypericum punctatum, if you hold it up to the light, instead of having clear holes, it has little black dots. Punctatum means spotted in Latin. And then seeds ready usually about the middle of September. They look almost, and this one will have little black dots on the flower, and they'll be in a nice cluster. Strawberry. These are Potentia indica, and they're very closely related to the wild strawberries in the genus Fragaria. These guys, I know some people are allergic to them and some people are allergic to every plant, but generally they're edible, but they taste like nothing. The best thing I've ever done with them was put them in a fruit salad and went, that looks nice. Seeds peel off is one way to tell.
It's a smooth berry,
And it looks
whereas
like
the
foam
wild,
on the inside. Yeah, they're very
the wild strawberry.
really, really hated I tend to speak for it. But it's got a really great secret in that it contains the same compounds as golden seal. That's berberine, that bright yellow color. And it's found throughout the plant and especially in the roots. And it's very often used in places where golden seal doesn't grow as a substitute for it, because it's so high in the same berberine compound. Yellow root and xanthorrhiza and mahogany and all of it. Golden seal is a very, very potent, almost immune enhancing drug. It's antiseptic, it's antifungal, it's antibacterial, it's antiviral, but it also tends, or at least people tend to use it almost as like an immune adaptogen, like it helps your body just deal with stuff, especially if you're fighting off an infection. So even if it's not necessarily killing the infection outright with its own berberine, it's uncolored, The root is just completely golden.
I got a whole root ball came down.
Then I went, yes, I'll never forget that because these spikes, you can hardly see the spikes under, and then you put your hand on it. And
Plus, they're very popular with landscaping companies out here.
Very, very popular. But those spikes, those spikes are very.
For some reason, people park them like the plant.
Probably fox grape, Vitis vulpina. Here's the good news with grapes, especially with wild grape. There are toxic lookalikes, but there are no toxic lookalikes that make grapes. So you're off pretty good. The ones that people really tend to fall for are either Virginia creeper, which is Parthenocissus cinquefolia, because it makes things that look like grapes, but it has leaves in 5. It has grapes are the only vine we have that makes grapes with these nice tendrils.
What's the really
Grapes are
Oh, is that the sycamore too then?
because they have one stalk that comes up and then just spikes everywhere.
This one was a what again?
This is a sycamore.
Sycamore.
And they're not like nettles or nothing. They're not going to sting you. But if you're breathing,
because it can deposit the same resinous material to your food as like cooking with pine.
I have not experienced that. I have heard that too, and I find sycamore to be great wood.
I will say that
very similar shaped leaves, same kind of venation because they're extremely closely with the stuff. It's a native bean. You can tell it's a bean because it has leaves that look like bean leaves, and it also twines.
no leaves, it's really, that's poison ivy.
Yeah, these can be confused for poison ivy, but you can see this is actual longer stem in the middle between them that helps identify it, and also it twines. This is one that Zoe and I have been dying to collect for years, and we're just so lazy in October.
Produce actual beans.
Yes, Oriental bittersweet happens a lot in Maryland, where we're from. Unfortunately, not edible and kind of regarded as poisonous, but why would you be eating something that's not edible anyway? So I don't know how poisonous it is. And this is why it's regarded invasive. This is all new growth in the last month. Probably.
Wow.
And it'll keep growing like this until frost. And they tend to take over trees. Like, I'm surprised it's so small. Berries are beautiful.
these are the berries starting. And they'll turn like a dull red color. And yeah, the berries are delicious.
Zoe's car is our storage unit.
You can ask Miss Nicole nicely.
So we have our big black walnut, maybe everyone's most hated tree to park under.
Oh, I love art.
But this is Jugland's nigra, which is just an amazing tree. If you're not eating black walnuts because you're afraid of black walnuts or afraid of the processing, eat black walnuts. They're amazing. People say they taste bad, people say they smell bad, they stain your hands like black walnuts. I love black walnuts.
Not anything together. Okay,
well, okay, maybe not.
not like
A little milder, they get less of that black juice soaking into the nut. But
So if you have worms, just
last year for them.
swallow
And
it.
dye. So many uses. The green hull, like the green
fresh when it's fresh.
we hash them in a mortar and pestle and then make nut milk out of them. Just the whole fruit with the pulp and everything, mix it with water, maybe like, I think we were doing what, like a cup of pulp to 2 cups of water. And then you end up with this very weird.
For other purposes.
This is also the preferred. This is catnip. Which is extra confusing because catmint is in the same genus. They're both in the genus is always smaller, very small leaves, like about half size of this. And has purple flowers.
Hey, Bruna.
Catnip doesn't grow wild here.
Is it a bud? It's a bud. That's a bud. Okay, hasn't flowered yet. Do you know who it is? Oh, no, I don't. This is some of my favorite bark in the area. This is persimmon. American persimmon. Female one?
Does it fruit?
I haven't seen it fruit since
No,
we've
it
been
does
here.
not fruit.
Then it's a male, probably. The sad part about persimmons, some of them are boys, some of them are girls. Which is silly.
Yeah, I have not seen this one, and I don't think they've ever taken.
Probably Equisetum fluviatale.
There's that horsetail.
Oh, look at it.
Yes, this is what is a native one, sort of, maybe, perhaps. Nobody knows because nobody pays attention to these things. This is probably Equisetum fluviatale, the river horsetail. A wonderful plant because it's almost a fern, but not. And Zoe and I were just talking yesterday. Before trees existed, you know, many hundreds of billions of years ago, these were the trees.
Wow.
You know, got upwards of 100 feet. And actually a lot of the coal in the area is made of horsetail to a large extent.
The thing that makes the sound. And then this is the boy bottom. They have that little part that pokes off.
It's a boy.
Right, but aren't you supposed to put something on the balloon before you put the glue on it so that it doesn't stick to the balloon? Or not? I don't think so. I've never done it.
Oh, do you hear it?
Yeah.
You hear it? The balloon's coming apart. But it's going to keep going because it's stuck to the balloon, and the balloon is...
I'll get the scissors and we'll put a little hole. Can I put a little hole in it, or do you want to do it?
Okay, so now...
Looks a bit like.
I know, kind of, yeah.
Found any, Jody?
Oh, sharing the bounty.
Daddy, give me some.
Xavier found the spot with strawberries just sitting.